Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunch for the Soul. Do I have an incredible conversation lined up for you all today? Please meet Rolf and Carol, the most amazing couple that I've been blessed to get to know through this story. Welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's really good to see you, and I want you to share your story. So I want to go back a little bit in time. First of all, I want everybody to know a little bit about Rolf's history because, Rolf, you are a Harvard grad. You are a lawyer who had to really change your lifestyle when you were diagnosed with Alzheimer's about 5 years ago. Tell me a little bit about that journey in the very beginning.
Well, when I first began to have people telling me that I was repeating myself, I realized that I had some difficulty that I should have diagnosed, and I did. And I, the doctor, Dr. Schultz that I went to, diagnosed me and found out that, back in 2015, I had Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, he's had me on a number of experimental programs, all of which I believe have been helpful. And we're still on one now.
I'm showing right now a photo of you with Dr. Schultz, who's with UTHealth. And this doctor has walked you through every step of the way, hasn't he, of having you do 3 different approaches to fight this disease. And you were the first in Texas to undergo the new drug that was FDA approved. How big of a deal was that to you to be able to be the very first in Texas?
Well, it was a big deal. As I indicated, the 2 other studies that he had me in, which were not nearly as comprehensive as this, were wonderful and helped me a lot. At least as far as I could tell, among other folks my age who have Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to do things and carry on. And I carried on my law practice for a little while, even after that. And only in this last year have I terminated that officially.
Doing amazing things like going skiing. And hiking with your family. It's remarkable to see what you've been able to do.
Yep.
Well, we have a place in Colorado, and we just love to go there with our family and ski in the winter and hike in the summer.
Yeah, I don't get lost up there.
So, Carol, I want to bring you into this conversation because when you're dealing with something like Alzheimer's, this affects the entire family. It's not one person. Tell me how faith for you has gotten you through these really difficult times.
Well, from the very beginning, our daughter-in-law is the one who really noticed the issues with Rolf and brought it up. And we prayed together about it and feel like the leading to Dr. Schultz was just so providential. And then the timing was amazing that he got with Dr. Schultz just at the right time to get on that first trial and then the subsequent ones. And that doesn't happen often. Mm-hmm. And we just took it one step at a time. The nice thing about Alzheimer's is it really encourages you to live in the present. Mm-hmm. And that's a very important life lesson, is to really focus on now and not just the present, but God's presence in our life.
Mm-hmm. And Carol, you said the biggest present of all recently was looking at that MRI. I just showed a picture to give people an idea of what Alzheimer's looks like on an image versus it being normal. What was incredible for you guys is that your husbands looked the exact same from 2015 to today. That's unheard of, isn't it? Because of all the different treatments he's done.
Yeah, it's like a miracle. It just really is, because I don't know I don't know anybody else that has had that experience.
And we've had a lot of friends and family praying for us, and
I'm sure
through all this, and helping and encouraging us. So we've stepped all the way that the doctor asked us to.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think Rolf's positive attitude is a big part of this, that he's just willing to show up and do the first next thing and be calm about it and positive and optimistic.
That is so huge for any type of illness, no matter what people are suffering from. And doctors have studies that actually show you do better with a positive attitude. And no matter what religion you are, studies show that if you believe in a higher power and you're going through something really tough, you do better when you really lean on that faith. I want to talk about how music has really helped you, Rolf. I have a picture here I want to show everybody and brag on you a little bit. So you tell me a little bit about when you started singing, and then you actually were in a quartet with Kenny Rogers. The photo here, it's a little bit
Where
fuzzy.
did you get that picture?
How awesome is that?
He and I have known each other for a long time, going back to high school days when we each separately would be singing on programs around the town. You know, when different schools would have a talent program, and I had a little quartet and that I was singing in, and Kenny Rogers was singing with his band, and we finally got together and did some songs together.
Cut a record together.
We cut a record together, which was fun.
Incredible. And then now you're able to still work on at your church, right? And lead the music at your church.
Yes, that's true. As far as I know, I can still do them all.
Incredible. At 82, you don't see a lot of music directors, more or less with somebody who is dealing with a disease like this. How much do you credit UT Health for all these clinical trials? And I'm thankful you're talking about this, Rolf and Carol, because somebody might hear about a clinical trial or think, "Ooh, I'm a guinea pig," or "Ooh, no way, not me." But look what it's done in your life. How important do you feel these trials are, and how thankful are that you decided to do them?
Oh, they're similar. They're the very thing that has, I think, helped me at least sane through this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else might have happened, but I know that I am feeling real good. I have still significant memory loss, which fortunately my family and friends are learning to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kindly say, "Well, Rolf, you called me about that yesterday." So now, and so, because I still do forget a lot of things. And that's really the worst part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The medical treatment that I've gotten and the ability to be on these programs of the new drugs, and particularly this Aduhelm that's now the one that I'm on, has a lot of promise. And I'm hopeful that it will do what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. I want to bring in some of our viewers here because we have a lot of people wondering a little more about these trials, and whatever you feel comfortable answering, you're welcome to. But Betty's saying, I wonder about the cost. So when you joined these clinical trials, how did that work as far as money and insurance perhaps is concerned?
Well, of course, on all along here, I've let my insurance company know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But and it so happened that in these trials so far, I have not been I have not had to pay anything because I was the guinea pig, and I had the trial on it. Now I think that the Aduhelm that I'm on now,
it's not a clinical trial.
It's not a clinical trial per se. It's really intended to keep this from getting worse. It isn't intended to cure whatever malady I have, but it is supposed to keep things from getting any worse.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll come a time after these trials when, if I want to keep it going, I will probably have to pay whatever price is the one that my insurance company will allow.
Right. And then I think it's so important for people like Betty, who's just saying, faith is free. and keeping that faith to get you through these tough times. And a lot of times people don't have money for their medical care, and it can be stressful. But that's the huge thing about this latest drug that you're on. So it was FDA approved in June, which is going to hopefully, anytime something comes out like this, don't you find that the prices, even for insurance companies, come down over time, right?
It will. Yeah. Yes, I'm sure it will. But it's very, very costly. And that concerns me a lot for others who will not necessarily be able to get this in some sort of a trial or other arrangement. But it's pretty expensive. But I do think, judging by the way insurance companies are attuned to this, that those prices will go down.
Well, and think about the alternative, because Carol, I know when I talked to you a few weeks ago, you were telling me that your daughter had, I believe their parents' friends or somebody who was diagnosed at the same time as your husband, and they perished. They've already lost their lives from this. And so you would think and hope that insurance companies see if this ends up being a huge deal and it's sparing lives. Talk about, you can't put a dollar amount on saving somebody's life with something like this. And certainly, hopefully it becomes more affordable.
Well, that's the,
Well, and
go ahead.
See, if people can catch it early enough, they can stop the progression and stay out of assisted living and the incredible expense that takes for the medium and the late stages of Alzheimer's, which are so terrible. So it would save insurance a fortune. And I might mention that Biogen has what they call an Agile acceptance program, which helps people that can't afford it until the insurance gets negotiated, the fee. So there's help available.
I like to always give people hope of seeing a story like yours, where when you're diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Rolf, I'm sure your thoughts are, am I going to remember my wife's name tomorrow? Will I know who my kids are? That's got to be so tough. Luckily, you're on these treatments and you are able to remember those important facts in your life. But what about somebody who's struggling with something or a diagnosis like this right now? What would your suggestion be for them to get through something like this?
Well, I certainly think they need a doctor that knows this area, and there are still lots of opportunities for people to get medication that they need for this. It seems to me, and we have friends who have Alzheimer's. I associate with them some, and it looks like that they're so far have been able to get the medications that they want, and I don't think that it has been that the cost has been killing to them. It's somehow they've managed. I haven't asked them the details how they're doing it, but I do believe they are getting that there are avenues for getting the proper medication to help you through this.
Sure.
For more longevity.
And I just want to share this message real quick from Joe, who says, peace, love, and blessings. I love it when we get positive thoughts from our viewers. So thank you for sharing this. But go ahead, Carol. I did not mean to interrupt you.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I want to talk about, let's talk about family and how that's played a role in your life, because I have a photo here that I'm looking at. I'll share of this beautiful family of yours.
That's the gang.
Yeah.
How beneficial have they all been with you through this? Like you said, you may call them up and tell them the same thing over and over, but it sounds like they're very loving and kind and have really helped you through this.
Just beyond belief. They're all such strong Christians and so supportive and prayerful. We just feel enveloped in the cocoon of love and support. And the wonderful thing is our 3 married kids and our 11 grandkids are all here in the Houston area.
Ah, what a blessing.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
And who is this cutie patootie?
We can't see.
That's
you can't see. It's your dog, I believe.
That's Jeremiah the bulldog.
That's Jeremiah the bulldog.
Jeremiah the bulldog. I thought Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Well,
he's a bulldog in this.
And we love him and he loves us.
Yeah. The first thing that happens when I go in their home is he jumps up at me as if he's right in my lap. And so I have to sit down so he can get in there.
Oh, I love it. I tell you, fur babies make everything better, right? And I mean, it takes a village, I believe, right? So you've got your faith, you've got your family, you got your pets, so you've got your social life of skiing and hiking. I mean, it looks like you got everything lined up in a row to lead a high quality of life.
All of that is a blessing, and we attribute that to the Father above.
And I just think about your background, your education. Not many people can say that they're Harvard educated. And you think about all I'm sure the funds that you put into an education like that to make your brain full of all this knowledge. How difficult has it been for you to think about losing all of the hard work that you put in, not only through decades, truly?
Well, that's been maybe the hardest part, is to finally reach the decision that I've only recently acknowledged, and that is that I just can't practice anymore. I'm still a Texas lawyer. I called the bar and told them that I probably needed to resign because I have Alzheimer's and couldn't do it anymore. They said, no. You're still a member of the Texas bar. Just don't practice.
Nice. Well, that was nice.
Okay.
Once a lawyer, always a lawyer.
No more dues. No more bar dues. But I'm still a member of the bar.
Did you ever think when you first got this diagnosis back in 2015 and when you were looking toward your future, if you could have looked in a crystal ball in 2021, could you ever have imagined that your future was so bright after all you've done, through all those trials through UT Health?
No way. And at first because of that, I was in denial. I was, people would tell me, Ralph, you just told me that, and you called me a while ago and blah, blah, blah. And my family began to let me know that I was repeating myself. And so once I got the message and got the doctor, then I began to have hope. I began to feel, because right away, he did a good job of letting me know that this wasn't the end of life. This was something that needed to be battled. And we have, and a lot of good medication has been used to get this place, and it's available to everybody that has this disease. And I'm hopeful that it will be available publicly for everybody to have the same result that I've had.
I want to bring this up real quick, Rolf. We're running out of time, but Carolina here says, as someone who has Alzheimer's in my genes and has a higher risk for late onset disease, according to DNA testing, this really, really gives me hope. And she's thanking you for sharing the testimony. You are adopted and recently found out that you unfortunately could not meet your parents because they had perished from Alzheimer's, both of them. And I'm so sorry about that. I know that had to be difficult, but at the same time, what a blessing that you have that information for your own knowledge and have been able to connect with that family after all.
Yeah, that was wonderful for me to connect with that family, and they're now keeping my parents' family, as it has grown through the years, are keeping up with me. And some of them are concerned, of course, because their parents died of Alzheimer's, and it is difficult. And I didn't find that out till I was well into this program that I really discovered that information. It was after my parents died when I finally decided it was time for me to explore my birth family.
What does that mean for your own children now? Are you just having them as they grow older, really keep a close eye on those signs and symptoms? Do they do DNA testing, or what happens with that?
They all are well aware of it. And I think all of them are taking steps to, keep up with it and be sure that they're tested as they need to be. And following my role in this, my journey.
So we're so thankful there's hope now. This is, as Dr. Schultz said once, for most of his career, there hasn't been hope. And this is a brand new day.
And you have it. Well, you're just a lovely couple. I want to thank you for taking time to share your own story. Congratulations on just a beautiful success. I've interviewed many patients through my own 25 years of medical reporting, and I've never seen a story this positive, this far in, and it touches my heart. So God bless you both. Thank you for sharing your faith, your love, your faithfulness to one another. It's together for 61 years. You have a beautiful story to share, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Well, we thank you very much. Thank you.
I want to catch up in 6 years and have you doing skiing still, okay? Can you promise me that?
We're going to hit the slopes.
Okay. Well, thank you both. Take care of you, and thank you for joining us on Lunch for the Soul.
Thank you.
Everyone, we hope to see you back here next Wednesday at 12:30. Bless you all. Have a beautiful day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.